Welcome to the Lewis Switcher Show. Thank you guys so much for tuning back in today. Today's topic is going to be about VHS, Video Home System. Now, how many of you guys still actually have a VCR in your home? I still love watching tapes. I grew up watching VHS, still hunt them down in thrift stores. I know there's like a big army of us out there that actually still really do watch and collect VHS. So today, we're actually going to take a look at some of the holy grails in my collection, some of the tapes that actually got me into film and got me hooked on wanting to make films as a career and to go into this. So anyways, I have this huge stack of boxes right here, and it's all filled with VHS tapes, and there's some holy grails in there and some things I want to share with you guys today that are super important and influential on why I love film so much. So we're going to take a look at some of those titles. In the background, we got some Bob Mould rocking. Any fans of Bob Mould out there? But anyways, yeah, let's get the show started, guys, huh? Woo! Take a look and see what actually is in some of these, because I haven't been through some of these in so long. Wow, look at this one. Blown Away. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Nicole Eggert. Unrated. God, this movie was... It's not great, but I always collected everything from Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. I'm such big fans of these guys, and that B sticker down there is straight from Family Video. Anybody out there have Family Videos in their area? Speaking of Feldman, here's another couple right here. Look at this guy. Corey Feldman, Rock and Roll High School Forever, classic, cult classic. The great story about all these Haim and Feldman flicks is they're a big part of my childhood and growing up, you know, like I'd love to go down to the video shop, get some of these, sit back, pop some popcorn, and have a good time with them. But yeah, there's another Haim Feldman or a Haim film in here. What is this? Prayer of the Roller Boys? That's another pretty good one. Him and Patricia Arquette. Obviously, these are the films back probably in the 90s. Haim and Feldman kind of both went to direct to VHS films and lower budget films, but that's okay. Some of them turned out to be okay. Here's another one of my favorites, Career Opportunities. I actually have this on DVD as well. This VHS copy of mine, another one from Family Video. I feel like I got so many of my VHS tapes from Family Video, but God, this was another good one. Anytime I go into Target, you have to like think of this movie. John Hughes, just such goodness. But let's keep looking, guys. Okay, so on the subject of VHS, I realized that like after years and years of actually like collecting these things, that I thought I was alone in this measure, that I'm the only one who actually like collects these things. Excuse me, but actually there's a sea and a real life following out there of people that collect and love to hunt down VHS, and I wanted to actually mention some of these guys who I started watching on YouTube and following various Facebook groups that are dedicated to the art form and to the format and the physical format of VHS. But yeah, the first being Mr. Tony of the Dead, and I'm sure if you guys have seen some of his stuff, he's kind of like, I'd say maybe the king and the guru of VHS, and his collection is unbelievable, and he frequently always updates with great entertaining episodes. A super genuine guy, always replies and responds to his viewers and subscribers. He just seems like a really appreciative guy. And Mr. Tony of the Dead, shout out to you. I will have a link down below for Mr. Tony of the Dead's channel. Check him out. He's mainly focuses on VHS. He's a big horror fan. So anyway, shout out to you, my man. And then these Facebook groups that I was mentioning, that there's like groups and thousands of people that dedicate themselves to watching these VHS and trading them and selling them on these groups. The first guy is Kyle Graham from Planet VHS Horror, and they're a Facebook group. I'm going to try to link that down below as well. And the other guy is Mark Rattail. He has the VHS Wildlife Preserve, and it's a very similar Facebook group where everybody trades and sells VHS, or even just posts their holy grails or their recent pickups in their hauls and stuff like that. But we're going to get started now, and we're going to check out some of the holy grails in my VHS collection. So let's take a look. Right, first up, a throwback to the 90s, MTV, 90s animation, Beavis and Butthead, Daria, Aeon Flux, all those shows. But this one is called MTV's The Head. It's kind of a short-lived series about this guy with this gigantic head, had this purple alien living inside him. Just a really, really wacky, wild, silly show. But I love this tape so much. I'm so glad that I got this one. This is kind of one of the holy grails in my collection. I don't know if it's like hard to find or anything, but God, the series was so short, but so glad to have this one. Next, classic Arnold Schwarzenegger, Raw Deal. Got him a sucker for classic Arnold stuff, and I feel like this was one of his more underrated pieces of work that he did. That and maybe Commando and stuff like that. But Raw Deal was super sweet. That scene where he's riding along and he's literally like smoking everybody with this automatic gun, and he's got Satisfaction by the Stones kicking on cassette tape in that convertible. Oh my God, that's like a classic movie. But yeah, Raw Deal here on VHS. Another one, this one comes from Republic Pictures, and that being The Paperboy. How many of you guys remember this one? This one was kind of a throwback to 90s VHS mom and pop video shops. But yeah, this one I'm pretty sure was back in the 90s sometime. But yeah, great flick, you know, just kind of low budget, but that's all you need, and just really entertaining. Always loved that cover with the newspaper tear. Thought that was pretty sweet. All right, this one, actually, this is kind of like a highlight because, long story short, I am a filmmaker. I am currently, I have written a screenplay, and I had this idea for a film probably since I was maybe 12 years old, and I'm quite older now. This particular film I'm going to show next is a heavy influence on the screenplay that I wrote. And the screenplay being one of the dreams I have, and like a bucket list and an ultimate life's goals wish list, and to make this film. And this film, The Monster Squad, right here on VHS, it's actually signed by a lot of the cast and crew. I went to a screening of it with director Fred Decker out in Santa Monica at the Arrow Theater. But yeah, Monster Squad was one of those flicks where as a youngster and you love monster movies and you're really getting into horror, this was kind of like one of the introduction to kind of kid friendly monster films, but you know, kind of push the envelope a little bit. And just definitely a great VHS tape here. Still plays great. I think it's an original release, Vestron video. Awesome, just awesome to have this. I love that I went to that screening, got to meet the director, and you know, I pretty much kind of thanked him for, you know, making such a great film and inspiring me to, you know, write this screenplay of mine. And I'm hopefully to get this off the ground very soon. I'm kind of taking steps to, you know, begin to get a production value and a budget on this flick. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, The Monster Squad was definitely a heavy influence on me as a writer, as a filmmaker, and as a film connoisseur and a film lover. So yeah. All right, next up, guys. Can't really go a VHS video at all without telling you a quick little story also about when I was growing up. I've mentioned several times that I love Corey Feldman and Corey Haim stuff, even like some of their worst flicks. I always kind of got into them. I don't know what it was, but Silver Bullet with Corey Haim was one of those that got me really introduced to him as an actor, and I thought just great stuff, him and Gary Busey. Speaking of that, Silver Bullet's got a Blu-ray release. Already available in Germany. It's a media book, but then also there's an umbrella release coming out. Pretty sure they're an Australian distributor. But Silver Bullet is kind of one of those flicks. God, I have to have that on Blu-ray. Have it on VHS. Have it on DVD. And now the Blu-ray's finally coming out, so awesome news for that. But yeah, Corey Haim did this flick called Fast Getaway. And my mom, literally one year for Christmas, with the holidays coming up and all, just kind of reminded me of how much it was probably my favorite Christmas of all time, because she actually went down to our local family video store, and she asked the lady at the counter, hey, my son's like really into like Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. Can I like maybe buy all these tapes of them with them in it? And the lady somehow gave my mom permission to like go buy all these Feldman and Haim flicks, and it was awesome. So I have like pretty much everything they've ever done, including Fast Getaway. Him and Leo Rossi. God, such a great, fun little bank robber movie. Just really schlocky and corny stuff, but so much fun. Fast Getaway is definitely one of my favorite VHSs in my collection, without question.
Quick little segue. There's another guy on YouTube that I've been really getting into lately. He's got a great quality to his videos. Seems like a super nice guy. Great host to his programming. He's another VHS collector, and that is Movie John. Movie John, thank you recently for subscribing to my show. I really appreciate that. He's another guy who I like to support. It's pretty few and far between the guys who I really pay attention to, and you know, really like to support, and he's another big VHS collector. So check Movie John out. He's got a great show. Link's going to be down below in this description of this video. So let's continue on with some of these holy grails in the VHS Lewis Switcher collection. There we go. Alright, so I'm a big John Ritter fan, always have been. This one is seriously like really hard to find. I'm pretty sure it goes for 30, 40, maybe even 50 bucks. I'm actually seen it as high as $100 on Amazon before. It's kind of ridiculous. But that is The Colony. Have anybody out there seen The Colony? This one, I don't know if it was like a made-for-television production, but it was put out in 1995. It's really about this family who moves into this gated community, and there's all kinds of crazy, incredibly nutty rules that they have to follow, and they realize that something's going wrong, and there's something wrong with this place that they live in. But The Colony is one of my all-time favorites. R.I.P. John Ritter. Love him so much. If you guys haven't seen The Colony and find a copy of this, definitely pick it up, even if you want to just make a few bucks, because I'm pretty sure there's some nuts out there like me who will buy this. So yeah, The Colony, such a great flick. Next up, love Jeff Daniels. This film is called There Goes the Neighborhood, with him and Catherine O'Hara. Kevin's mom from Home Alone. Kevin! But God, I love this movie so much. Even Chaz Palminteri shows up in this. Just a classic 90s comedy. I love all genres of film. I really do. I'm mostly a horror fan. But when it comes to, like, you know, quality filmmaking and stuff that I remember having a lot of rewatch value and being able to really get into them and watch them over and over, There Goes the Neighborhood is definitely one of those. Such a funny movie. So many good one-liners in this movie. How do you say it? Hector Alonso has this line in it where I quote all the time. Not now, pumpkin! But anyways, yeah, watch There Goes the Neighborhood. Great flick. And then Full Moon went by the side label of Moonbeam Entertainment. And they put out this movie called Remote. I can't remember where I scored this one, but I remember this one being out of print too and kind of hard to find. But, oh man, so many cool little puppets in this film. And that Charles Band guy from Full Moon was seriously obsessed with puppets. I mean, how many movies did he make with puppets involved? It's kind of crazy. But Remote was always such a good flick. So much fun to watch. The acting and the characters are just very enjoyable. So check Remote out. So much fun. This one might be pretty hard to find, but yeah, love Remote. This original Universal Monster Collection, I love the artwork on these, and The Invisible Man with Claude Rains being my favorite Universal Monsters release, actually. Yeah, I'd definitely say it's my favorite. I feel like for it being made in the 1930s, the special effects were so way ahead of its time. And to watch it now, I think it even still holds up now. And I mean, the artwork, you don't see artwork like this on VHS tapes anymore. I feel like, you know, well, they don't make VHS tapes anymore, duh. But I'm just saying, as far as even artwork for a DVD or a Blu-ray or something, I feel like the artwork, they don't really put love into it. And there's not a lot of art direction and something that actually draws the eye to the product like there was back when these were released. I'm pretty sure that these Universal, this was actually put out in 1991. So there's so many of these beautiful VHS Universal Monster movies out there, and I only have a select few, so in time I'd love to actually collect them all and display them properly. The next one being, this one has actually never been put out on DVD or Blu-ray, and that is The Stepfather 3. Love all three of the Stepfather films. Number one actually being the best, obviously. Terry O'Quinn's portrayal of him in 1 and 2. Oh, so good. Such good stuff. But even the third one, when Terry didn't reprise his role as the stepfather, I still thought this one was actually really good. I'm pretty sure this was put out by ITC and Vidmark, the same distributor as the first two flicks. This one having a much lower budget, I think, even than the second one, even though the second one was pretty low budget. This one had a smaller budget, but there's a review on back here that says Stepfather 3 is a roller coaster ride of tight-fisted terror, undoubtedly one of the best horror films of the decade. I don't know if I'd agree with being one of the best horror films out of the decade, but such a great little underrated flick, direct to DVD or direct to VHS sequel here, Stepfather 3. All right, just a couple more to talk to you guys about today. Next one being a film called The Jerky Boys. Obviously, The Jerky Boys was inspired by all the comedic brilliance that Johnny Brennan and Kamal Ahmad created during the 90s with all their hilarious prank phone calls. Shout out to my buddy Josh Husk. We actually used to work in a warehouse together where we'd literally just quote Jerky Boys all day long over the radios and get paid to do so. Drove our bosses nuts. But yeah, The Jerky Boys, some great classic stuff. Another pickup from Family Video. I'm pretty sure my mom picked me this one up back in the day. But God, I love this film so much. The Jerky Boys, just classic stuff, amazing stuff. But to wrap things up today, guys, we're gonna go with probably. There's not even a probably about it. I have one favorite film. And this is going to be my favorite film, and it's the Holy Grail of my VHS collection, and it may be a film that not a lot of you actually have heard about or know about. It stars Ari Gross, Patrick Dempsey, Alan Arkin, and Daniel Stern, and that film is Coupe de Ville. This honestly is my favorite feature of all time. There's a number of reasons. I don't want to go completely in depth with it, but I want to say that if a film can actually capture your emotion and stick with you and maybe teach you something and inspire you or provoke some sort of emotion out of you, I think the film actually does its job, and this film does all those things for me. The sound, the acting, the music, the location of the shoot, but yeah, just a classic, and I love this film so much. I've probably seen it over 100 times. I'm crazy, I know, but just such good rewatch value to this flick. A Coupe de Ville, yes, if you actually even look at my logo that my buddy Ben helped me design and create, on the VHS tape on my logo, it actually says Coupe de Ville in the logo. So yes, this is one of my faves. Love it so much. If you guys have not seen Coupe de Ville, definitely check this one out. 1990 it came out. And it actually references Detroit. The premise takes place with a road trip between three brothers going from Detroit to Miami, and just an amazing soundtrack. I have the soundtrack on vinyl. I have the Universal Archive, or it's like a burn-on-demand disc DVD of Coupe de Ville. But this is the Holy Grail, and I will keep this forever. I think I paid $25 for this at a video shop in Los Angeles. But yeah, love Coupe de Ville. So yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the Lewis Switcher Show. We're going to be back again probably within a week with the next episode, and make sure you guys stay tuned. Subscribe, like, comment, all those links down below for Movie John, Kyle Graham and the Planet VHS Horror, Mark Reitel of the VHS Wildlife Preserve, Mr. Tony of the Dead. All those channels will be down below in the description. Make sure you guys go out and show them some love, please. I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. See you guys next time.